unpredictable as Donald Trump is, where he's going to land. He's raising questions now about it. You guessed it, participating in the ABC debate. Now, why is he doing that? Because that's what he does. Will there be a Trump-Harris debate? That's the question. Donald Trump has just suggested doing the debate with a different network. Watch this.
Hostility was incredible, and Reince was in there, but he was a little bit softer than he should be, to be honest with you. But when I looked at the hostility of that, I said, why am I doing it? Let's do it with another network.
You don't need more of a soundbite than that. He's wishy-washy again.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
I'm going to tell you some more of the background. He gave more detail on Truth Social. Is there anyone on Truth Social, or does it only get picked up by other outlets? Because I just don't see it. But here's what he said. I can get down to that part of the statement, if you will. All right. I watched ABC fake news this morning. Isn't this getting old, folks? Both lightweight reporter Jonathan Karl's, you know his name. He's reported on you. He's an investigative reporter. He used to be with CNN. Now he's with ABC. You know who Jonathan Karl is. Stop it. Ridiculous and biased interview of Tom Cotton, who was fantastic, and their so-called panel of Trump haters. And I asked, why would I do the debate against Kamala Harris on that network? Will panelist Donna Brazile give the questions to the Marxist candidate like she did for crooked Hillary Clinton? All right. Was that big of a deal? It probably wasn't the right thing to do. You remember what happened. But here he is again, thinking of any excuse. Will Kamala's best friend who heads up ABC do likewise? Where is little with these, George Slopadopoulos? You know who it is. It's Stephanopoulos, George Stephanopoulos. Where's George Stephanopoulos? It should read hanging out. Now, I'm sure it's an innocent mistake. Will he be involved? They've got a lot of questions to answer. Why did Harris turn down Fox, NBC, CBS, and even CNN? Stay tuned. I don't know if we will stay tuned for these tantrums. They're having tantrums. Now, the debate is scheduled for September 10th in Philadelphia. I love Philly. It's kind of my hometown. Cheesesteaks, pretzels, cream cheese, and the debate. We'll see. Trump had previously agreed to an ABC News hosted debate with President Biden for September 10th. After Biden was replaced atop the Democratic ticket by Harris, Trump cast doubt on whether he would participate. The Hill with the reporting. Now, the two sides eventually agreed to hold the September 10th debate with ABC News, while Trump had pushed for additional debates on Fox News and NBC News in September. Harris' campaign said it would only agree to the ABC News event before discussing a potential second presidential debate. And they're saying, we'll do it, maybe. But first you have to honor your current commitments, and then we'll see about that. Okay? We're not going to do this constant dance with you. Trump's posting didn't end there. He's back on Twitter, freely using grotesque nicknames to refer to VP nominee Tim Walz. So let's go to another rant. Spoiled. This is what a bratty child does. But with a child, you just take away their phone. This is not what we're doing. These aren't the values that we're upholding in this household, but then no one's going to take away his phone. Who is negotiating for us in the Middle East? Bombs are dropping all over the place. Sleepy Joe is sleeping on a beach in California. Viciously exiled by the Democrats. And Comrade Kamala is doing a campaign bus tour with Tampon Tim. Another reference to the governor, who also has a daughter and wife and happens to be somebody who knows that women have needs generally once a month. A lot of women do. They get their menstrual cycle, but Juvie Trump, because the governor said, hey, kids in school should have free access to their feminine needs. He has a problem with that now. That's a little immature nickname. Really bad VP pick, he calls them. Let's not have World War III, because that's where we're heading. And you've been, some say, violating the Logan Act, sir. You, sir, Donald Trump, have been calling your friend Bibi Netanyahu and saying, don't participate in this. Do not ever agree to a ceasefire. which Netanyahu seems all too willing to oblige, because it'll help Harris and Walls. I'll let you unpack this, Mayor. We have to report on it because he's a presidential nominee. He's on the Republican ticket. He could, still very close, end up back in the White House. But this is more spoiled brat tantrum stuff to me with very big consequences, no?
Yeah, I think, listen, first of all, the childish nature of Donald Trump, not just his tweets or his posts on Truth Social, but how he shows up in this entire political space is something that I cannot stress, that we are going to lose democracy and how people run for office forever if we don't check this. If this is not made abnormal behavior, then there will be no more normal politics in this country. We've already seen the ramification. Because of Donald Trump, we have Marjorie Taylor Greene. We have so many other people that should not ever be elected, Carrie Lakes of the world. And I think what we have done is, because the media spend more time worried about if Kamala's going to sit down and do an interview with them, instead of forcing or fighting back on this idea that Donald Trump is decrediting or taking the credit away from discrediting the media by calling them fake news because they say something truthful about him that he does not like. It's doing harm. The lack of trust in the media, in a large part right now in this current climate, is because of Donald Trump. And I think it's absolutely disgusting that we are allowing this experiment we call America's democracy to be rattled by someone who has no moral compass at all, who cares not about Israel, Gaza, Russia, or anybody for that matter, just Donald Trump. He don't even care about his kids. He thinks he would be dating one if she wasn't his daughter. So the man has no moral. So he's that disgusting. And I'm not saying this hyperbole. These are his words. He would date his daughter if she wasn't his daughter.
Yeah. And if we didn't know that those were his words, we'd say, why is the mayor saying something so gross? Because that's what he said and not a one-off, okay? Oogling and talking about your daughter in sexual terms is disgusting and not laughable in any way. But there's an integrity issue here. And I hate that the media, listen, I want Kamala Harris to sit down and do an interview. I don't think she's scared at all. I think they're being strategic here. They've got 70 plus days to go to sprint this thing and run through the tape. And so some people have to wait, and they're up against that strategy. But I hate the media takes Donald Trump narrative. She's scared to do an interview. And then the media, like little parrots, what are you going to do an interview? What are you going to do? Are you going to interview? Okay. By the way, they're with her all throughout her campaign stops. And I'm not suggesting this is a long form interview, okay? But the media needs to get over themselves as well. They need to get over themselves. If Donald Trump's calling them fake news, I don't know why he wants her to sit down with them, since they're so friendly and her friends run the network and this and that. But she's going to do it. But I just hate that there's not an original thought, or at least that's what it feels like, Mayor. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I think, listen, I'm glad you said that. Listen, can we just be honest that the media this is not Walter Cronkite era. And that's a sad thing to say, that more people, especially that look like me, are getting their news takes from TikTok. It's that many more black men on TikTok getting news than on CNN or MSNBC. The world don't want to hear that. That's just a fact, though. So this idea that she's obligated to sit down with the media, I'm obligated to ask, which media are you talking about? People are not learning the way we used to learn. There's no you big three you own the message. That is no longer the case anymore. And we've already seen that you guys are not responsible. When I say you guys, I'm talking hyperbole, talking about mainstream media. You're not responsible enough to tell stories in a way that bring in black bodies and black stories. You demonize us while you protect other people. This is why the world still believes black men are the supervillains. This is why the world believes black men don't spend time with their kid. These are messages pushed by mainstream media. When black men are killed by cops, everything they did back to grade school is a part of the story. When white kids kill people in church, they are called kids and young folk. They're not called thugs and murderers. So we are not pushing this idea that she needs to sit with the media is a story that benefits the media. I enjoy the way that she's controlling her narrative because we know what's going to happen. It's going to be clipped and cut the way that they want to put it. And that's how it's going to come out. But in this moment, on her campaign stand, she gets to determine that message. If the media was really concerned about what she was saying, they would cover her like they covered Donald Trump from start to finish of every rally and giving him billions of dollars of free advertising. Give it to her as well if you want a story.
And they would also lower the standard, right? They'd lower the bar. And if she didn't, rant for 60 to 70% of the rally, she stayed on message for the most part. It's just dumb, okay? And I'll say it again, and Mayor, you're right. She didn't say she wasn't going to, said, look, I'll do a long form interview, but I'm also going to talk to influencers. I'm going to talk to other people. As I told my colleagues for years, everybody with a what is the media. I see my daughter, she's so cute. They're media. So stop acting like you're better than them. Nobody wanted to believe me. You got an iPhone, you got a story to tell. You're media. Okay, I don't care if somebody says you're not sanctioned, you're media. The I report, it's the original eyewitness. So we'll keep following that. We'll see what he doesn't want to debate her because it just takes up too much time from the golf course and from, McDonald's.